Are you still here?
That is the question that many are asking of people watching Star Trek today. Why in the world are you watching this stuff? Well, to answer that question, I got a question for you. Why do certain people continuously watch their favorite NFL teams knowing that they've sucked over the years? Year after year, the fans continuously return to watch these teams play, knowing there's a chance that they will not win the season. In fact, certain teams just don't do well at all, year after year, decade after decade. Well, I think the answer is faith. We have faith that sooner or later these teams are going to perform the way we need them to, and we're going to see a season that is better than we've ever dreamt of and see that Super Bowl that we've dreamt of. Okay, so I know there's a few of you out there going, what the heck does football have to do with Star Trek? Well, it's basically the same thing I said before. It has to do with faith. I have faith that, yes, Star Trek is going through some very dark times, but I have faith that this series, this franchise, is going to turn around and I'm going to start seeing Star Trek like I did in the past and maybe even better than it was before. Yes, we are definitely in dark times right now. The franchise is a complete and total mess. And I know a lot of people out there are going, there's no hope for this. We're in deep and there's no way out. But there's a funny thing about this. As terrible as this series looks, I still have faith. Simply because Skydance is in charge and they are promising to set things right. Now, I heard at a recent Comic-Con convention, a person stood up in front of the Star Trek panel and asked whether the DEI agenda, or rather their own personal identity, would be represented in the next season of Star Trek. And they were pretty much told that Paramount and Skydance, not in those exact words, the DEI agenda is gone. It's off the table. They are not doing it anymore. Now, if that information is true, then I say we are on a good track right there. We are turning a corner, coming out of this dark tunnel. The damage to the canon has been done, and I don't know if there's any way of repairing that. But perhaps there is some way of moving Star Trek into a better place where the fans can come together once again, united, and say, we want to watch this. Now, when you consider what Disney has done to Star Wars and how much everybody has walked away from that franchise, I am honestly happy to say that I believe Star Trek is in a hell of a better place than Star Wars ever is. The only thing that really concerns me about Star Trek in its current state right now, and the fact that Skydance owns it, is the fact that they are still talking about a Star Trek 4 in the Kelvin timeline. And I don't think they're getting the message that the Kelvin timeline is really not that popular. Now, if there is going to be a Star Trek 4 in the Kelvin timeline, then the producers, the directors, the showrunners of Star Trek need to stop trying to emulate Star Wars. Star Trek is Star Trek and Star Wars is Star Wars. Stop trying to copy it. If fans are still out there like the ones who created Star Trek continues, then in the next few years, we could see something incredible. The cast and crew of Star Trek Continues had such a passion for the original series, they made, as far as I'm concerned, a masterpiece of a sequel. In the hands of people who have passion for something they love, stories can be created that are just amazing. Even when you don't expect characters to be blended together, they can still create great stories. Fans love Batman and Star Wars, so a matching of these two was an incredible idea, and it was amazing to watch. I watch Star Trek, and yes, some of this is hard to watch, but sooner or later, an episode or a series will come along that will say to me, this is Star Trek. And I know there are people out there saying that by watching this and you're giving the showrunners the idea that you like it and to make more of this garbage. And that's where I disagree with a lot of people. And the reason I disagree is because of YouTube, the modern day channel for critiquing TV, music, and movies and more. This is the place where entertainment goes to either get praised or to get massacred. hardcore YouTube fans out there who care enough about their fandom, they care enough about the things like Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who, to fight off the destruction. That's why I say that I have no worries about watching this stuff when there's people out there who will turn to YouTube, such as myself, who will correct or contradict anything that we disagree with or say that was just wrong about a series or an episode. That is why I am not afraid to watch this stuff, because the fans have more power these days than they did back when the original series, or even when the Next Generation all the way up to Voyager was out. YouTube is a powerful weapon to get our voices heard. Well, I would love to know what you think about all this. So please drop those comments below and let me know. And until the next time, my friends, God bless.